Okay, what's going on, guys? We're going to go over formations even more attacking than a 4-3-2-1. So this is more attacking than a 4-3-2-1. I just want to say as well, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays for those that are watching. I know it should be uploaded by Boxing Day, this video. So of course, Merry Christmas. And I might do something last minute, but I'll let you know about it very soon. But yes, let's go into the tactics. Also, let me know down below with the 4-2-2. It's very important, actually. People get upset because I put too much gameplay in the videos. They just want to see just tactics videos like this. Let me know what you prefer, because I try to put the gameplay in some of those videos so you guys can see what I'm doing, how I'm using it, and show you the movements as well. And the formation we are going over today, which you may have seen the title, is the 3-4-2-1. Now, in some ways, it's more attacking than a 4-3-2-1. But of course, the negative is that defensively, you don't really have that stability. You don't have that back four. But if you're committing a fullback going forward anyway, you might want to play the 3-4-2-1, and then you can still defend in the back five. So technically, although it's more attacking, it can also be more defensive. The only weak point is when you're getting counter-attacked. So we're going to go through the tactics first, and we're going to go through the instructions. The defense style, we got this unbalanced. You don't want to be, especially with the 3-back, you don't want to be really using any of these other aggressive. They're just too aggressive, especially when you're out of possession. Sometimes you may win the ball back, you may leap forward, and your opponent can win the ball back. So let's say your opponent has the ball. Let's say then you are pressing. Let's just say in theory you're pressing. I'll show you for example here. Let's say you're pressing, and let's say you go and get the ball off your opponent. When you get turned over and you lose the ball, that would be your biggest weakness. So don't go with any defensive styles. The width, we got some 45. Don't forget you are defending technically in a 5-back when the left mid and right mid, they got to come back. So ideally, someone that's got pace in these positions. There's no defending in a 4-4-2 for this one. It's just a simple 3-4-2-1. Just keep things simple. We'll go over defending in a 4-4-2 another day. But left mid and right mid, you need high work rates ideally, or high medium. Someone like Mendy, I think, works very well here. The main thing is pace. But you are defending quite wide anyway, so we just want to reduce that down so we don't get destroyed too much in the middle, especially with the back five. And the depth is one that you wouldn't see that much. It's gone to 40. Now, if you go above 45 depth, that's the key number. 45 depth is the key number. That is when your teams start applying pressure. 71 depth is the ultra pressing, the OP press. But you see with this formation, I would recommend not using a... you could always adjust this and tune this up. The one thing that I realized as I make tactics videos more and more is I always put too much depth on. Now, maybe for someone else watching this, that maybe it's a rank 3 player or rank 4, it's fine and get away. They know and adjust. But let's say you're watching this. It was Christmas yesterday. Some people got the game brand new. You may not be used to it, but I would recommend 40 depth because your team are very passive. That way, you cannot get countered. If you can see with this formation, honestly, it's always going to be your mistake, a defensive mistake from yourself, rather than a formation. A formation can't make you lose, but if you run out with your centre-back, you're going to be in trouble. But sometimes what pressure does is indirectly your centre-back will be high up the pitch or your CDM, and then you're caught in no man's land. You're thinking, oh, you know what, let me go and commit towards the attacker, and then you concede. So what happens is that depth, although it doesn't affect you literally, inadvertently affects you defensively because your players are a bit higher up and you may feel forced to be aggressive. But this way with 40 they stay more passive and it kind of helps you. So when you see them, you'll be able to run back. The build-up play we got with balanced. I don't think you need anything in regards to that. And a chance creation, we've just gone with direct passing. Now for the width, this is one that I've experimented with. It's 35. Now don't forget, this is quite a wide formation in theory. The left mid and right mid are quite wide. But what effectively we're doing here is we're just trying to make, especially the central areas, the 3 strikers in the road together. So the cutbacks are still very effective in this formation. It's just that when you go down the wing, you just have those left mid and right mids that are higher up the pitch. So in theory, you can actually have 2 players. You can actually go on both sides. Think of this like a 4-3-2-1. But you lack that centre mid. That's the only downside with this formation, is you lack that centre mid. So this is more for the wing players, but I'll get on to that in a second. 6 players inside the box, corners and free kicks as you want to. And while we transition to this part, was under this video sponsored by my Patreon series, patreon.com/no guys. Want to get better at FC24? You come to my Patreon series. You don't get better after 1 month, we'll give you your money back. That's the nil guys guarantee if you don't get better after 1 month. Now, striker, we got stay central, get in behind and stay forward. We got the same for the left centre forward and right centre forward. The main thing here, I would say, stay central. People want to put these players unbalanced. I say you always want them to be in the middle. You already have a left mid and right mid anyway. They're going to be occupying that position. Why do you want these guys to be wide or going wide? You want them to all be in the center. You want them to be like this. This is what makes it hard to defend against, because you're actually attacking in a 5-man. So if your opponent's got a 5-back formation, or 5 players, should I say, it's effectively a 5 versus 5. But most people are going to have like a 4-back if you're defending like in a 4-4-2 or whatever. So with 3 players into the middle, going into that central area with the low depth is very good for breaking down the middle areas. And you have these wider players for the wing areas. So that is why we put them all on stay. This is, people always ask me why do I put them on stay central compared to other people that lead them on balanced. I don't think you need to be. They're all on stay forward. The left mid and right mid, this should be on get into the box for cross. Both on come back and offense, get into the box for cross and get it behind. Pretty self-explanatory when you get the ball down the wing. If you do cut the ball back, at least you have the left mid coming inside late. Both of them on getting behind, so when you win the ball back, they run forward. And they're both on come back and offense. This is what makes them defend. So out of possession, they're going to come back and you're going to be defending in a 5-2-3. That's where you'll be defending. So I think most of you are used to playing with a 5-back anyway. As I said, this was kind of made pre-patch, but I've now adjusted it for post-patch. That's why we haven't put any defensive styles in, because the nerf. So don't even pressure on heavy touch, and that's why we adjust the depth as well to be 40, so you won't get caught out. But the main thing here, I would say, is you definitely need pace here. If you're using someone like Neville with 84 sprint speed, forget it. You need someone who's got 90 sprint speed and above. Ideally, high work rates. I would say the high defensive work rate is the most important one. That's what makes them come back in time. I'm using Mendy on the right-hand side and I'm using Smith on the other. So that way, I know if I'm caught out of possession, I know which side I'm more weaker on. That's something just to bear in mind. The centre mids, both of them on stay back, cover centre. Now, this is where people will probably struggle when you first use it. It's because you had that extra centre mid, A, for stability, and B, you can have a player getting inside the box. Now, you can put one of these players on balance, but this is the most important thing, okay? This is honestly the most important thing. You have to understand your ability and know your ability. If you know you get counter-attack, then don't even think about putting these players on stay back. Because everyone, they copy the tactics and they always say it doesn't work. But guys, you have to adjust this. This is probably the most important thing, but this formation is more important. When you're out of possession, you're only going to have one player back. That player is not a central player, so it'll be offsetted a bit to the left-hand side with this formation. So that's why we reduce the width. So this player, in theory, would be, when you're out of possession, won't be as wide. So you got to bear that in mind. So the player that you make running forward, I would say put the fullback, whoever's coming back with a high work rate, put that player on that side. So at least if you lose the ball, at least you're going to have a temporary back four, and then Krieger can always then support the other side, or your other left CDM. I'll just say the player that is going forward in the centre mid, make sure the fullback is on that side. Because I'm playing actually a 4-back line with 2 centre mids and 4 wingers. That is the way I'm setting this up in a 3-4-2-1. Something just to bear in mind. But I'd recommend even them both on stay back. I think it's way too attacking. You will know yourself if you can compete. And I'll be honest, even if you can compete at a high level and have them go forward, you're better off just using the L1 triggers. It's the better solution to use the L1 triggers. And that is that. And then the back 3, all on balance, and the goalkeeper is on sweeper keeper. And that is a 3-4-2 on custom tactics. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm literally going to go back now and just do a bit more testing in regards to this. This is actually a very good formation. It was more overpowered before the patch came out. That is one thing. It's more attacking than the 3-4-2-1, but now you know the center mid areas where you might find that weakness. So those of you that like maybe primarily going down the middle, you may prefer the 4-3-2-1. But those who maybe like the wing play a bit more, this would be the better formation for you. If you are abusing the cutbacks, it's probably one to go for. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy. Don't forget, if you want to get better at FC, you can come to my Patreon. So it's patreon.com/NoGuides. Link is down below in the description. If you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money. It's no guys guarantee. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Enjoy your new year and your Merry Christmas. Peace out.